hospital. The situation in the hospital is absolutely dire because one of the airstrikes on Tuesday hit a water main at the entrance to Ras Maloof. The hospital is without water at the moment. The doctors have crates of bottled water standing out in piles outside the hospital. They say that this is hopeless. They can't hope to maintain a sterile environment in these conditions. The best they can do at the moment is really just provide emergency first treatment to wounded people coming in, and then as quickly as possible, once their condition is stabilised, put them in an ambulance and send them back east up the road to the towns of Brega or preferably AlJazeera, where they have larger hospitals that are better equipped and also are further away from the front line. The fact of the matter is that the hospital is only a couple of hundred metres from where we are, so the hospital itself is actually right in the firing line at the moment, putting doctors as well who are doing their very best in extremely difficult circumstances and extreme danger themselves.
OK, Jackie, reporting for us under very difficult circumstances yourself. Do stay safe. Thank you for the moment. Jackie Rowland in Ras Lanuf, which, as we are speaking, is being bombed by Gaddafi's warplanes. OK, well, let's cross to Tony Birtley, who's in AlJazeera in Libya. Tony, presumably a lot quieter where you are. What are you hearing about the advance of opposition forces?
Well, we're hearing that they've taken Bin Jawad back. We've heard that the opposition forces sustained heavy casualties. We're told between 20 and 30 killed and more wounded. We don't have the exact figure at the moment. We don't have any further information to suggest why Gaddafi forces have not come any further. Maybe that's part of their plan. Maybe they've drawn a line in the sand and said, we will stand here, we will fight here, we will not move forward. I don't know. Lots of uncertainty about what is happening and why. But at the moment, the rebels have been pushed back. As Jackie was saying, you know, they do present at a very attractive target because they are massing at these central points to the entrances and exits of towns, and it's only a matter of time. And that stretch of Ras Lanuf is becoming known as Bomb Alley because it's being bombed nearly every single day.
OK, so with the fight back of Gaddafi forces, what has happened then to the determination of fighters there to advance to Sirte and beyond to Tripoli? I mean, is that still a possibility?
Well, I mean, every single day you go down there, no matter what is happening, they are very, very enthusiastic, very optimistic about what's going to happen. They're prepared to go down that road as far as they can, no matter what. And most of them are saying they're prepared to go down there, and if they die, they die. But their intent is very clear. They want to liberate all of Libya. They want to get to Tripoli. They have to go through Sirte, as we mentioned, very strong bastion of Gaddafi forces there, very well equipped. That's going to be a completely different test for them than Bin Jawad, for example. You've got to ask questions. If they couldn't get through there, how are they going to get through Sirte? So it does seem that we're getting to some sort of impasse at the moment, and we're not sure exactly where this is going. But
the one thing we keep hearing over and over is that they would have a better chance of liberating their own country if there was a no-fly zone imposed.
Absolutely. You know, as we're seeing every single day, those bombers are coming over. They are starting to take a toll. I have to say they haven't been too accurate. They're dropping from very high because although they may be disorganized, the opposition forces do have, you know, an array of weapons, including a lot of anti-aircraft fire. They have downed at least one aircraft that we know about. So they do pose a threat to the Air Force. So I think they're bombing from very high, which is good in one way, but also it actually lessens the accuracy of the bomb. So you get back to that situation, maybe a stray bomb will hit the oil and gas installations and cause that disaster that people are fearing.
And how vulnerable are those oil facilities? Because they're spread out over quite a large area, aren't they?
Well, they're huge, and if they wanted to be used as a target, there's no stopping the Air Force from doing that. They are now being guarded, finally, by the opposition forces, so they're very sort of strict about who can go into and out of those facilities. But nevertheless, if Gaddafi's Air Force wants to hit them, they can do so at will.
And just one quick question about where you are, Tony. I mean, what is life like there in AlJazeera? We know that it's controlled by opposition forces. What are people doing there? Are they moving in and out of the town? Are they acquiring supplies? What is life like?
life is pretty normal, but you do get this constant stream of fighters and ammunition trucks coming through. You get some ambulances coming through, taking those that have been more seriously wounded to bigger hospitals with better facilities. So life is going back to normal here in a way, but still, this is a frontline town, and they know that if those towns ahead fall, they will be next.
OK, Tony, thanks for that. Tony Birtley in AlJazeera. And just to recap, airstrikes going on in Ras Lanuf, and we'll bring you more on that as we get it. Let's go back to an earlier story coming out of Libya, the Libyan planes, which were seen taking off from Tripoli. Carl Stanio Navarra is a journalist based in Malta. Carl, I know you've got a lot of information about these jets, but the main thing seems to be that all three of the planes belong to the Gaddafi family.
Yes, indeed. They belong to a fleet of 5. These are known planes. Now their registration numbers have already been circulated to NATO allies as well as the European Union to keep an eye on them and the destinations. And as soon as 3 of these planes were spotted taking off from Mitika airstrip in Tripoli, which is not a civilian but a military airstrip, which is normally used by the Gaddafi family, and there are the hangars which belong to the Gaddafi family. These jets have taken off initially in 3 different destinations. So we have the first one, which was heading towards Vienna in Austria. The second one was on its way to Athens in Greece, and the other one was destined for Cairo, which we know now we have confirmation that plane has landed in Cairo. However, the other 2 will still remain at the mystery. These planes have changed flight plans at least twice, and air controllers have told us that these planes have last appeared, one over the Swiss airspace and the other one over the Italian airspace. However, they don't have any more information with regards to their transponders. Now, we know that aircraft like these, which are used to carrying VIPs, sometimes put on or turn off their transponders in order for them not to be seen. They use a system called a diplomatic clearance wherever they fly, and they also inform beforehand the respective governments over the countries they're going to fly over. That is normal procedure. However, what we know for sure that this plane has landed in a military airstrip in Cairo, which is not a civilian one, and on board there was a senior military officer from the Libyan Armed Forces. Reports suggest that he is carrying a message for Libyan for the Egyptian authorities from the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, and according to our sources, this message is directed to Hussein Tantawi Soliman, who is the Armed Forces of Egypt chief commander. The sources are still insisting that this message is directed to him, even though that some people in Cairo say that it would be unlikely for Suleiman to listen to what Colonel Gaddafi has to say. There is also the suggestion that there is the meeting by the Arab League this weekend in Cairo, so therefore there could be a message from Gaddafi regarding this meeting directed to the Arab League.
Just very, very quickly, Carl, any idea who's on board the other 2 planes?
No idea whatsoever. Unless they land and the people are spotted disembarking from these aircraft, we will never know who is on board those aircraft. OK,
Carl, thanks very much indeed for that. Carl Stanio Navarra in Malta there. Well, let's talk about the Cairo end of these, the journey of one of these jet planes, and speak to Ayman Mohyuddin, who's in Cairo for us. Ayman, we're told that one of these planes landed on the military strip in Cairo. Do you have any